Hey folks, to work on the martial powers system some more today. We are at episode 80. Over the past year, we are going to work on the PsiWarrior today. So give me a second here to check my signal, make sure we're coming through clear, and then I'll go through my official intro spiel, and then we'll get to work here for an hour or so. So checking my signal here, an hour or so. So check. Sounds pretty good. Cool. All right, here, there, and blip, blop, bloop, blip. Let me double check here everything, make sure I've got this up. I'm going to do my online shout outs while I do my intro spiel. So here we go. Hey, my name is Phil Kearney. I create role-playing games. I illustrate them and then publish them online. I've been focusing my attention on Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition for the past 5 years. There is a slew of links in the description down below, which you can see book covers to the stuff here on screen right now. These are all 100% free preview books. The Spelljammer book we are still illustrating and will also publish to the DMsGuild as soon as it's finished. But the rest of the stuff is linked down below. If you're normally just watching because of the artwork that I do, these are all free previews. You can check out all of them just by clicking on the full preview button or the eye icon if you are on a mobile phone. If you're a D&D 5e enthusiast, the stuff that I build is meant for use from level 1 to 20 for both DMs and players, both sides of the screen. If you think this stuff is cool and you want to use it in your campaign, go ahead and test it out. If you think it's worth its merit, consider making a purchase to support more misbehavior. As well, you can follow me if you're on the Twitter platform. I'm at Phil Kearney. I always publish when I go live, just like I've published that I am live right now, so you can tag along if you want. But best way to get notification that I'm active and to support the channel, like, subscribe, hit the bell icon, and we've picked up more subscribers since this morning. God bless you folks. Thank you so much. I'm trying to get to 500 subscribers by the end of the year. I guess just asking is the only way it's ever going to happen. So, I mean, I just really appreciate folks helping out. So, this is the Pacts and Patrons of Ravnica. It's a bunch of different warlocks based on the 10 guilds in the MTG Ravnica setting, the Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica that Wizards published a couple years ago, which inspired me to create the color mana system, which is now an Electrum seller. It's on the cusp of becoming, all of these books are on the cusp of becoming gold bestsellers as a bundle. Spelljammer book we're still working on, and Theurgy ability check casting is something you can check out as well, which allows any character of any level to attempt skill checks to cast magic that's way beyond their means, with disasters that ensue. So, but hey, that's just some of the stuff that I've done before. I've got a timer going here that'll keep track of where we're at and when, but today we are going to dive into the PsiWarrior. Give me a second here to check out. Hey, what's up, Shiner? Hopefully, thank you. It's very kind. I'm hoping to get to 500,000. I'd love if other people think this stuff is cool to be able to gather a tribe of mana enthusiasts and tear this world apart. But for now, let's just keep on task with where we're at and see where the muse wants us to become. If you're familiar, this is episode 80. So we've had a year. I do this once a week. It's currently my third project. Spelljammers Monday through Friday in the mornings. Eberron Adventure is Monday and Thursday nights. The martial power system is developed on Tuesday, and then I do commissions on Saturday. I also have some other things I dot in here and there on like Mondays and Fridays occasionally. But so this book, once the Spelljammer book is done, Eberron will move forward to the Monday through Friday morning slot. Martial powers will move to the Monday, Thursday night slot and stay on the Tuesday slot. But I have a campaign to build with this, because I'm going to be playtesting this content. I'm currently playtesting at level 19 at my home table, and it's working great. I've been using it since level 12 to 19, so the third and fourth tiers, I'm pretty confident this is good, at least according to my own standards as a DM. So I'm happy with that so far. You guys are welcome to check. Oh, that's right. All this content is available for anyone that wants to look at it. If you just go to my Patreon, you don't have to be a patron to support, to take a look at this stuff. But if you drop down here into the Patreon, it'll pop open a window here. And if you scroll down with me to the article about the playtest content for martial powers, there you go. The stream here, that'll take you to what we're currently live on right now. Hi, guys. But here's the martial powers link. And if you link into that, that takes you to this same document that we're currently working on over here and here right now. So all of this content, all 79 pages of it, are available for folks to use right now for all 7 classes that are spoken of in the book, from anywhere from level 1 to 20. Just drop it in. The playtest that I'm going to build out once Spelljammer is done, it's going to basically be like a dungeon hex crawly sort of thing from level 3 to 7. To push the limits on what the first and second tier of it can do, since I'm already confident about the third and the fourth. So that's where we're going with this. Be welcome to plug in, build out some cool shit for yourself, see if you have fun with it, see what kind of an action loop you can build for your characters, what kind of synergies you can develop with the rules as presented, and if you're running into any snags, let me know about it. You can either hit me on Twitter at Phil Kearney, if you know where I skulk on Discords. I don't have my own channel yet, but that's coming soon, so keep an eye out for that, as well as on the actual Patreon channel if you just want to drop a comment into the playtest content that we posted there. Love to hear your feedback. If you're having any problems with this stuff, I'd love to hear specifically what it is. Just because my style of DMing works with this system, I need external support from other players, and also hopefully DMs that utilize this stuff both for creatures like monsters as well as players, to see how well it curves out and fills in spaces in your game systems. So, having said all that, this is, let's see, let's go here so we can have our stack, and then let's go here so we can push down into the actual powers themselves. If you've been here before, we're doing it again. We're going to deconstruct the PsiWarrior subclass, and then we're going to convert it mechanically into the martial power system. If everything is copacetic and built and curves well into it as built, then we don't have to necessarily make changes to it. But if there are opportunities for us to make this language speak more smoothly with what we've developed for the martial power system, we're going to implement those changes. And then once we finish making the alterations to the subclass, like all the other subclasses that we build, like here for the Arcane Archer, we have we grant 10 bonus powers over the course of your character level 3rd to 17. 3, 5, 9, 13, 17th levels are the ranks of power that you gain, 1st through 5th. So every time you gain, you'll gain 2 bonus powers, but those powers don't necessarily need to be 1st rank, 2nd rank, 3rd rank, 4th rank. It doesn't have to line up that way. We're just looking for things that feel thematically correct or thematically in alignment with what the class is at a levels that feel appropriate, or that the subclass is granting you benefits that features that specific powers that we could pick from would, like, say, for instance, benefit from. So we'll see more opportunities of that as we go into this. But we've already finished all of Barbarian, and we're now working through the fighter. We did the Arcane Archer, the Battle Master, the Cavalier, the Champion. We're skipping Eldritch Knight for now because I have a whole book about Eldritch Knights called Knights and Tricksters, which is part of this bundle here, which specifically deals with Eldritch Knights and Arcane Tricksters. We'll have to update the language to take this into account, but I'm going to save that for the very last. We also already finished out all of our rogues, and as such, I want to go check out the Soul Knife, because the Soul Knife is a psionically empowered subclass for rogues. So I'm going to acquaint ourselves with the PsiWarrior, I'm going to reacquaint us with the Soul Knife real quick, so I know what the hell we're talking about and see if there's any commonalities that are going to crop up for what we do with the PsiWarrior here in a minute. So, psionic power, well-spread psionic energy, blah blah blah, Psi-Bolter Knack. When your non-psionic training fails you, your psionic power can help. If you fail an ability check using a skill or tool with which you have proficiency, you can roll 1 power die and add the number rolled to the check, potentially turning failure into success. Hey, that's great. You can sustain telepathic communication between yourself and others. Perfect for quiet infiltration. As an action or bonus action, tap 1 mana and choose 1 or more creatures you can see, up to the number of creatures equal to your proficiency bonus. While sustained, the chosen creatures can speak telepathically with you, and you can speak telepathically with them. To send or receive a message, no action required. You and the other creatures must be within 1 mile of each other. A creature can't use this telepathy if it can't speak any language. Blah. So that's basically like a first rank sustained power that you gain access to, which we have reflected in the telepathy feat here, which is different from the with the psychic whispers. It helps flesh out your ability to communicate with non-friends. So, and then you have mind sense that clicks in at 9th level, which allows you to detect any mind that's capable of thought within a distance equal to the amount of mana that you tap. So that's a cool thing. Psychic blades deals damage. Here's the damage curve that we have for the amount of damage that it deals and the bonus damage that it deals. Soul blades, giving powers, homing strikes, attack with psychic blades, miss the target, exploit. You can spend mana up to your max channel limit to roll an equal number of power dice and add the highest number rolled to the attack roll, potentially changing a hit into a miss into a hit. Basically, this class is burning a bunch of dice to have second chances to succeed where it first failed, as well as firing up psychic blades and dealing stupid amounts of psychic damage on people. Psychic teleportation. You can expend 1 mana to throw a blade at an occupied space. You then teleport to that location. That's a cool low-cost use of mana for teleporting. That's sweet. And then Psychic Veil. You can spend 2 mana to become invisible. There you go. Okay, cool. And then 17th level, Stunning Strike. You gain the Stun Strike power. And instead of requiring a Constitution saving throw, you instead require a Wisdom saving throw. Love all that. So, okay, great. That's pretty simple. It's mostly doing refunds on fail dice. So, let's see how we extracted the Psychic Warrior stuff into this document here. So, let's just start picking this guy apart. PsiWarrior, awake to the psionic power within. A PsiWarrior is a fighter who augments their physical might with psi-infused weapon strikes, telekinetic lashes, and barriers of mental force. Many Githyanki train to become such warriors, as do some of the most disciplined High Elves. In the world of Eberron, many young Kalishtar dream of becoming Psi-Warriors. As a Psi-Warrior, you might have owned your psionic abilities through solo discipline, unlocked it under the tutelage of a master, or refined it at an academy dedicated to wielding the mind's power at both weapon and shield. So, psionic powers. That's wonderful flavor text. Get the hell out of my way. So, 3rd level, PsiWarrior features. You harbor a wellspring of psionic energy within yourself. This energy is represented by your psionic energy dice, which are each a d6. You have a number of these dice equal to twice your proficiency bonus, and they fuel various psionic powers you have, which are detailed down below. Let's see. When you reach certain levels in this class, the size of the psionic energy die increases. 5th is 8, 11th is 10th, 17th is 12th. The powers below use your psionic energy dice. Some of your powers expend the psionic energy die they use, as specified in the power's description. And you can't use a power if it requires you to use a die when your dice are all expended. You regain all your expended energy dice when you finish a long rest. In addition, as a bonus action, you can regain 1 expended psionic energy die, but you can't do so again until you finish a short or long rest. So you can gain 1 psi die per short rest, all psi die on a long rest. The system that we use is going to absolutely crush that. So this is all. So fighters regain mana on a short rest like a monk. So at 3rd level, you would have 4 psionic dice. At 3rd level, you have 3 martial power points or mana that uses a d6 as well. But we escalate at a d6, d8, d10. It'll cap at a d10 instead of the d12. The Battle Master uses d12s, but that's it. But you're going to gain a lot more value because you can spend multiple dice to be able to ramp up effects. And since you recycle them so quickly, a PsiWarrior would end the game at 17th level with 12 dice, and they can regain 1 every short rest. At 17th level, you have 17 psionic. You have 17 mana that you can regain on a short rest. But those that aren't intimately familiar or indoctrinated into this all yet, there's also the variant class feature of Channel Vitality, which is when you use Second Wind, you also regain a number of spent mana equal to the max rank of power that you've gained as a fighter. So you gain this at first level. So at third level, when you become a PsiWarrior, your psionic mana pool, you would automatically be able to regain 1 at third, 2 at fifth, 3 at ninth, up to 5 at 17th. And of course, currently, Second Wind is a once per short rest feature. So you get, at top tier, you get 5 psionic dice as a bonus whenever you spend Second Wind. And then short rest get all up to 20 mana left at 20th level. And then on a long rest, of course, you get all 20 back as well. So you take Second Wind for rank equals mana, then short rest all mana, then Second Wind again, short equals max rank, and then short rest again, then Second Wind, and then long rest. So you could potentially have, just based off of this at top tier, 75 mana. But there's more. Variant class features Indomitable Power. That's whenever you use Indomitable Power, if you spent any dice to ramp up your saving throw, you can re-roll all those dice as well if you want. And then the optional class feature of Power Surge. At 10th level, when you use an Action Surge, you also gain a number of temporary mana equal to the max channel limit gained as a fighter. So like at 10th level, you'd be 9th level equals 3 ranks. So you get 3 free mana when you use Action Surge to spend any way you want during the Action Surge. At the end of your turn, you lose the temporary mana. It goes away. You also have, as another feature, the Empowered Strikes. At 5th level, which is 2nd rank, whenever you make an attack, if you have any hits, any attacks that are left over, you can cash in those extra attacks to gain free mana to be able to use basically divine, like strike powers are like divine smite with variations. They're like smite spells that, like, there's 28 of them that anyone can use, but paladins use them better. So, but anyone can use them. So a fighter at 5th level, you get 2 attacks. If you hit on your first attack, you can skip your second attack, get a free point of mana that you can either add to your other mana or just use independently for free to deal a strike. You hit, dump in some free mana, get a hit, you're done with your attacks. The combat moves on. That's a way for a player to decide, do I want to split up my attacks because I think it's more advantageous to have 2 attacks, or is all I'm trying to do is hit this one target, I hit it, now I can just dump all my extra attacks into bonus mana to hit it harder. So there is unlimited amount of mana that you can gain as a use of this, but its usage is limited depending on how many attacks that you have. So you always got like a low-level simmer. As a 5th level, you've always got a fuel of mana that you can always use during combat to beat people up more and to use various effects. If you aren't familiar with the effects that we have, we'll go down to your strikes. Some of this stuff is going to be familiar to people if you started getting on board the Weapon Mastery train. A lot of this stuff is coming out of different cantrips that already exist. Like the one I like to look at a lot is like Freezing Strike. It deals cold damage. Number of dice equals bonus damage. All of your damage is cold damage, and the creature's movement rate is halved until the end of the turn. No saving throw. Shocking Strike. Your weapon can deal lightning damage and add 1 power die per mana burned. The creature can't take reactions until the end of its next turn. It was pointed out, so I think what we are going to need to do is can't take reactions. We should make a note here because it was pointed out. Legendary reactions can ignore this effect. That's, well, I think that text is, I think that's spelled right. Question mark? This question was raised because the change that was made to Shocking Grasp in the one D&D playtest that's going on right now, pointing out that it only affects opportunity attacks, which prevents currently Shocking Grasp should be shutting down legendary reactions, but I don't think that was their intent. So there's the question of, should this be able to disable legendary reactions as just a single point of mana? Arguably, no. That's refreshing. So, like I said, it's a playtest document. There's still plenty of opportunities for us to be able to make revisions, looking at balancing features. This thing's going to cost you mana every time you use it. Shutting down reactions feels good. If it was for free use, I could see opportunity attacks only. That's a great way to differentiate between like a cantrip free use versus something that requires mana expenditure. I like that change in balance. I'm happy with that, but I do agree that legendary actions are kind of like a step up. So we'll have to take that into account. But there are tons of different strike, well, not tons, 24 different like disarming strike. You hit somebody, and you can disarm them, flinging weapon wherever you want within 10 feet per point of mana spent, for instance. So, flaming strike, you catch somebody on fire, they take damage equal to your proficiency bonus each turn. Yada yada yada. So, let's see. So yeah, there's lots of opportunities. Like like if you were to check out like universal spell points or the 5-color mana spell point variant with core mechanics, you'll see that full casters at 20th level have 80 mana. The fighter using these different tricks and exceptions to rules of gaining added value, plus the short rest mana pool, is going to, if you're taking 2 short rests per long rest, the fighter is going to end up roughly around, at 20th level, it's going to end up roughly around 80 mana that it has to use over the course of the day, without just having to have a stack of 80 mana that it can just make use of. By parsing it out in small little tastes, it helps make sure that your team is staying in alignment with doing short rests as needed, and it helps, it keeps you from bursting Nova too hard. Just throwing down 5 mana drops at 17th level, which you could theoretically do, but by having it as a short rest, you curb your enthusiasm. And it makes the paladin stand out more, because the paladin can use the system as well. And they only have long rest, but they only have 40 mana at a long rest. They also have their own tricks that give them access to more mana and stuff as well. But out of the box, they're on a long rest with 40 mana versus the true marshals being on a short rest with a cap of 20 mana. That actually makes the marshals more equipped to have a larger battery than the hybrid half-casters do, which feels appropriate to me. They don't get the best of all worlds. They get some of all worlds. So there you go. Fun ideas here. We're playing it out. You are welcome to playtest this stuff by checking out the link in the description down below. But hey, let's get back into it. So we're looking at how these things are structured. Here are the options that we have. Let's see. Psionic dice. That's pretty much all the psionic dice is overridden by the martial power system that's just inherent to it. The power dice, the mana points, the variant class features for the fighter. That all basically overrides what the PsiWarrior feature psionic power is. So we can kind of wash our hands of that and focus on now what we have going on down here. So what we got? Protective field. When you or another creature you can see within 30 feet of you takes damage, you can use your reaction to expend 1 psionic energy die, roll the die, and reduce the damage taken by the number rolled, plus your intelligence modifier, minimum reduction of 1, as you create a momentary shield of telekinetic force. I feel like that's a reaction that already exists inside of the game. So let's go reaction hunting. Attack roll from the source you can see. Attack is rerolled, taking into result. What is this? Remind me what this one does. This is reduce the damage taken. So do we have something that reduces the damage taken already? Empowered defense. Roll a number of power dice. Gain an armor class bonus equal to the best result. Interpose. As a reaction to when an adjacent ally takes a damage from a source you can see, you can take any portion of the damage and gain resistance to it. Let's cut this out here. And then let's put in a comment over here for contemplation. Hey, Deck! You are welcome to go check the playback on episode 79 if you want. Let's see. Feint. As a reaction to when you miss an attack roll, you can roll again, potentially turning the attack into a miss into a hit. Empowered defense. AC bonus. Deflection. Reroll the hit. Parry. Reducing the damage of the combined result. Okay, so it looks like parry as a reaction to when another creature you can see damages you with a melee attack. You can roll 1 power die per mana burned, reducing the damage of the combined result. That's very specific to to melee attacks. This is when you, okay, I like this. This is going to work. So let's go with how we want to do this. Double checking real quick, make sure there's nothing out there already. Reactions. No, this is, okay, great. This will be a unique reaction. So let's rewrite it. When you or another creature you can see within 30 feet of you takes damage, you can use your reaction to expend 1 power die, to expend how do I have that written? Power die, power die, power die. Add 1 power die. As a reaction to when an enemy you can see within range of your weapon attack becomes prone, you can make an opportunity attack and add 1 power die to the attack roll. That's not what I want. Here, as a reaction to failing. Wait a second, interpose. As a reaction to when an adjacent ally takes damage from a source you can see, you can take any portion of the damage and gain resistance to it. That's really good. When you or another creature you can see within 30 feet of you takes damage, you can use your reaction. There we go. Use your reaction to reduce the damage taken by the number rolled by the sum of power dice rolled up to your max channel limit. Plus your channeling ability modifier. Good enough for now. I see comments. I'll catch up with you in a second about them. Battlemaster, Cavalier, Battlemaster. Arcane, Battlemaster, thank you. Cavalier, yes. Champion, yes. PsiWarrior on deck. Sup? Yeah. You just read the doc. Absolutely, my bro. All right, so protected field, that's good. Sonic Strike. Let's see what Sonic Strike does. You can propel your weapon with Sonic Force. Once on each of your turns, immediately after you hit a target within 30 feet of you with an attack and deal damage to it with a weapon. You can expend 1 power die, rolling it and dealing force damage to the target equal to the number rolled, plus your intelligence modifier. I mean, sure. You can propel your weapons with Sonic Force. Once on each of your turns, immediately after you hit a target within 30 feet of you with an attack and deal damage to it with a weapon, you can expend 1 power die, rolling it and dealing force damage to the target equal to the number rolled, plus your intelligence modifier. I mean, that's kind of redundant to like every strike that's out there. So let's take a quick gander at the strikes we have. I believe Psionic Strike is one of the strike. Yeah, there it is. Psionic Strike. Your weapon can deal force or psychic damage and add 1 power die per mana burn. So, you have his doing? In any case, I would probably recommend calling it the Banneret. Well, we're going to go with whatever the book has written. So, I mean, you know, Bob's your uncle. There we go, PsiWarrior. Did they change it to Banneret? I mean, yeah, but the question is, does that mean that we eliminate the feature and this just gets lessened, quote unquote lessened, even though you're getting a shitload of value instead anyway? Or is there something we can do to tweak this that makes it different from the general Sonic Strike? You can propel your weapon with Sonic Force. LeFou, I'm afraid I've been thinking. All right, here's what we're going to do. Psionic. Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, you're absolutely right. Psionic Strike is like an auto pick. So let's go with Psionic Strike. First strike feature, comma, whatever's next. Probably telekinesis. Telekinesis feat. That makes sense, right? So you get those, because you get the feat for free, because instead of picking powers that you have to spend mana on, you could just pick a shitload of feats and not ever spend mana and say, I don't like messing with resources. Resources are stupid. That's awesome. Use all the feats that you gain off of your character advancement for ASIs to improve your stats, and just gain 16 free feats. And if you want to skip using Sonic Strike, good for you. But yeah, telekinesis as a feat is like an auto pick as well, right? I mean, that's just obvious. This is what I'm thinking for Sonic Strike. You can, using your Sonic power, you can make ranged, you can make, how do I want to word that? You can make ranged attacks with any melee weapon you are holding with a range of 30, 60. While maintaining, while 1 point of mana is tapped, you can continue making ranged attacks with the weapon while it remains within 30 feet of you. A new weapon can, a different weapon can be chosen to attack with, while sustaining 1 point of mana. You can make a ranged attack with any melee weapon You can make ranged attacks with any melee weapon within 30 feet of you that is not being in possession of another creature. The range is 30 feet. This is super rough language for now, but I'm just trying to throw down ideas at the moment. Range is 30 feet while sustaining 1 point of mana. Okay, so using your sonic power, sonic strike. You can make a ranged attack with any melee weapon within 30 feet of you that is not in possession of another creature. The range of the attack is 30 feet. There. You can change which weapon you use with each attack you make. If the object is not, if the DM, any object can be used as an improvised weapon while using psionic stroke. I'm having a psionic stroke. Any object you can be used as an improvised weapon while using psionic strike. If the DM determines it isn't suitable as another type of weapon, period. You can continue making ranged attacks. Let's do this. You can continue making ranged attacks with the weapon while it remains within 30 feet of you. A different weapon can be chosen to... period. You can change which weapon you use with each attack you make. Any object can be used. Any unattended object you can hold in one hand can be used as an improvised weapon while using Sonic Strike if the DM determines it isn't suitable as another type of weapon. Starting at 5th level, you can tap 2 mana. You can sustain 2 points of mana to attack with any weapon or object that requires 2 hands to hold. Something like that. I think that's rough cut enough that we can play with that and find better language. But I also think that is a super great blend of the Sonic Strike and the telekinesis feat. So let's just do that, shall we? I know I've missed a lot of conversation going on. I'll get to you, I promise. But I think that's a super cool sound. I think that's a really fun adaptation. So I want to have that in play. Hopefully somebody's going to be willing to play test that sometime soon for us to take a look at. What up? Thank you. Cool. Banneret serves as the generic name for this archetype if you use it in other campaign models or... Oh! Well, thank you. Let's do that. I will happily accept your advice here. Let's call it... Is that how we're supposed to spell it? Banneret. Purple Knight. We'll do that for now. And then we'll do, yeah, well, this is next up anyway, but we have to go back to the front of the order to get there. So, appropriate. Psionic Strike. Let's look at telekinetic movement. So, you can move an object or a creature. Oh, this is perfect. You can move a creature, an object or a creature with your mind. As an action, you target one loose object that is larger, smaller, or wheeling other than yourself. If you can see the target and it is within 30 feet of you, you can move it up to 30 feet to an unoccupied space you can see. Alternatively, if it is a tiny object, you can move it. To or from your hand. Either way, you can move the target horizontally, vertically, or both. Once you take this action, you can't do so again until you finish it short. Unless you expend a sonic energy die to take it again. All right, screw you. So that's called telekinetic movement. Let's that's kind of redundant, isn't it? But we may potentially want to fold that language. I mean, it's how about instead of Psionic Strike, we call it telekinetic combat. I think that's good. Let's just leave that at that, and then we'll consider the language that we have here. There, chop chop. Telekinetic Adept. You have mastered new ways to use your telekinetic abilities, described below. Okay. Psi-powered leap. As a bonus action, you can propel your body with your mind. You gain a flying speed equal to twice your walking speed until the end of the current turn. Once you use this bonus action, you can't do so again until you whatever. All right, unless you spend a die to do so again. Telekinetic Thrust. When you deal damage to a target with a Psionic Strike, you can force the target to make a strength saving throw against a DC equal to blah. Save fail equals knock the target prone or move it back 10 feet in any direction. These are pretty redundant, I think. I think we already have like a power fueled jump. Let's see. Well, we already have Tripping Strike. Tripping Strike. Your weapon damage increases by 1 power die per mana burned, and you can. Oh, that's what we're gonna do. Hold on, I have a solution to this. Let's see. First off, we're going to go with Telekinetic Adept. Telekinetic Thrust. As a bonus action. So first off, we're going to get Tripping Strike. Before anything else, let's first look at your weapon can deal force or psychic damage and add 1 power die per mana burn. Okay, so that's pretty straightforward. Where to go? There it is. Telekinetic Thrust. So we're going to give him Tripping Strike for free. Obviously. First STR, comma, and what, come what may. Actually, yeah, let's go find that jump real quick. I'm pretty sure we have a jump. If we do have a jump feature in here, then easy peasy, we just give it to them. But, hold on real quick. Goad, flatten, curse, coordinated dash, brand axiom. Those are maneuvers. Ride the wind. You gain a fly speed equal to twice your movement until the beginning of your next turn. When this power ends, you can choose to gain the benefits of a featherfall spell. So ride the wind seems like an obvious one to gain as well. So that's a second rank exploit. So let's plug that in since we're here. Let's see. Gymnast, that's right. When making an ability check, you can use the acrobatics or athletics skill. Roll 1 power die per mana channeled. No, that's not it. Damn it, where is it? Hold on. It's the only problem with building 150 new spells is remembering the names of stuff and what each one will do for you. Commanding presence, extended attack, evasive footwork, gymnast, ground fighting, overrun, natural hunter, practice charlatan. Ranged strikes, swift movement, unnerving, Vietnam, care, ride the wind, first strike, unstoppable. Damn, how are you? Let's see. Healing, maybe it's, I can't imagine. Lift and shunt are such obvious things to take. God. Okay, lift. Shunt. Shunt. Creatures that are size large, that are smaller than you, that are one size up to one size larger than you. Within 10 feet of you makes a strength save or is pushed 10 feet per mana burned in the direction of your choice. Lift. Choose a creature up to size large within 30 feet. If it fails a wisdom saving throw, it lifts 5 feet off the ground and remains suspended. Reduced to speed of 0 unless it can reach the surface to crawl along with hands, costing an extra 4 feet for every 1 foot of move for the duration of the effect. The creature can save at the end of each of its turns to end the effect. You can kick this power by spending 4 mana instead to target a huge-sized creature. Up to size large. It makes a wisdom saving throw, and then it can make a saving throw again at the end of each of its turns. Okay. Curse and enfeeblement, double strike, terror. Let's go down to maybe it's a sustained effect that allows for the jumping. But if it doesn't exist there, cliff runner, climb speed equals walking speed. You can climb without your hands. Impact, fast, inspired, lycanthrope, power armor, ranged assault, rogue stance, swift assassin, trap springer. Okay. Doesn't exist, so let's look at Cloud Strider. While this power is sustained, you can fly using your walking speed. If you end your turn in the air or if this power is disrupted, you gain the benefit of a Featherfall spell. That's Cloud Strider. It's a sustained 2. Let's go back up and look at Ride the Wind, which is second rank. That doesn't feel right. It feels like second rank. It's a one round exploit versus being a sustained effect, but it does require concentration to do that, or you lock it and you lose the abilities to do other things. You gain a fly speed equal to twice your movement until I feel like Ride the Wind should be a first rank in comparison to Cloud Strider. So I'm just going to go ahead and make an executive decision to Ride the Wind. And I'm going to shift Swift Tools. If using a tool that you can hold in one hand would normally require an action, you can instead use the tool as an object interaction. That is not worth 2. So we're going to change our mind on that immediately. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, and then we have 1, 2, 3. We don't have a lot of exploits above first rank, which I'm fine with. Ideally, I have more exploits than the following level. That's a pattern that we've had pretty much throughout the document. We'll get to it. Need one more. There. We'll do that. We'll find one. I'm sure we can find one. Okay, so back to jumping. The whole point of it. Let's see. Side-powered leap. Okay, we can go back to side-powered leap. Side-powered leap equals... Where'd you go? Thank you. As a bonus action, you can propel your body with your mind. You gain a flying speed equal to twice your walking speed until the end of your current turn. Once you take this bonus action, you can't do so again until you finish a short or long rest, unless you expend a psionic energy die to take it again. Side-powered leap. As a bonus action, you can propel your body. You gain a flying speed. But ride the wind is just part of your normal movement. You just tap mana and now you're just suddenly flying. Or you spend the mana and you're suddenly flying. Cloud Strider is a sustained effect that just lasts from round to round. So I am not seeing strength in keeping Psi-Powered Leap as it is. Let's do this instead. Psi-Powered Leap. While you can propel your body with your mind. You can add one power die. Let's see. What do I want to do? Movement. Hold on. Okay, so here we go. Jumping doesn't count against your total distance. Doesn't count against... Jumping only counts as 5 feet of movement. And you can add 1 power die, and you can roll 1 power die, adding the result to the total distance jumped. How about that? As part of movement, you can propel your body with your mind. Jumping only counts as 5 feet of movement, and you can roll 1 power die, adding the result to the total distance jumped. This distance counts as only 5 feet of movement. Let's pencil that in for now. You can burn additional mana up to your channel limit, adding an additional die to the total distance jumped for each point burned up. Yeah. to the total distance jumped. You can burn additional mana up to your channel limit, adding an additional die to the total distance jumped. Something like that. That's rough language, but I'm good with it so far. Okay, here's going to be the piece of resistance. Let's go with telekinetic strikes. So we have telekinetic combat, and now we're now that we have telekinetic adept, we now have telekinetic stripes. Okay, you gain the chained strike feat for free. No, let's do it differently. You can chain psionic. You can chain the psionic strike power with any other strike you know. Period. So a chained power is a feat. It's a meta feat, a meta power feat. You take one strike and you take another strike, and the feat allows you to connect those two strikes together. Normally, as written, when you make an attack, you can choose one strike power that you know to increase the amount of damage and apply an effect. When you chain two strikes together, you can use you have to spend the total cost of both powers, but you get both benefits from that chained effect. So, for instance, going back to our big list of bad, if we go down into our strike powers, if we have psionic strike, and say we learn, and we get tripping strike for free, right? So I could spend 1 point on psionic strike, and I could spend 1 point on tripping strike. Spending 2 points, I get the benefit of both psionic strike and tripping strike, and the benefit for both of those is the total amount of mana spent. So tripping strike says that I can increase my damage by 1 power die per mana burned, and I can knock a creature up to one size larger than me or smaller prone. The target makes a strength saving throw to prevent this, adding the highest power die result to the channeling DC. So if I chain tripping strike and psionic strike together, I'm going to have to spend 2 mana because they're first rank powers each. But that means I'm going to have 2 dice that I roll. It's going to add both of those dice together to increase the amount of damage that I deal, and whatever the best result of those 2 added dice are, that increases the DC to tripping my target. And of course, these dice increase as I gain levels up to a D10. So if I were to use this at 17th level and only put 2 points into it, I do a psionic strike and a tripping strike together. Psionic strike allows me to deal either psychic or force damage. So whenever I'm using psychic strike, I can automatically deal force or psychic damage and trip and have 2 dice of damage that get dealt to them, and whatever the best of those die rolls is increases the DC for them falling prone as part of the attack. I could instead take, like if I wanted to take Provoking Strike, I could chain Provoking Strike, which is a 2nd rank power, and chain it with Psionic Strike. So Psionic Strike plus Provoking Strike. Well, Provoking Strike already deals psychic damage, but I could deal force damage instead if I wanted to. 2 plus 1 equals 3, so I'd have to be 9th level to be able to do this in the first place, but once I get there, I not only deal the psychic damage, but I can also add 1 power die per mana burned. The creature can only attack me unless it loses line of sight with me or I'm incapacitated. The creature can end this effect early by succeeding a wisdom saving throw at the end of each of its turns. Creature immune to charm, save with advantage. So that's a really good it's literally a provoking strike, like the aggro effects from MMOs that are lamented as being missing from the RPG games. These provoking, goading, intimidating mechanics allow you to have that sort of goading, forced aggro effect as a mind effect that they can overcome by making a saving throw. But until they do, like some of them, like I think it's goading strike, like they're affected by it until they can either save or hit you. But provoking is a more advanced form. It stays in effect until they can either save or lose sight of you. You could technically have both goading and provoking strike on you at the same time, so that even if they're able to overcome the provocation, they would still have to overcome the goad if they failed that saving throw as well. So fun stacking effects that we can do here, but I think I like that. You can chain the psionic strike power and any other strike you know. With any other strike you know. There you go. But I think I can do this one better. Protective field. Telekinetic combat. I'm good with that. I'm good with that. This is what I want. This is what I wanted to do. I wanted to go. Oh, yeah. That's what I wanted to do. I'm gonna push Shunt back to here. Man, okay, I've got about 20 minutes left. I'm okay. This is my last burst. Lift. What I want to do is psionic. Sorry. Is that how I want to do that? Yeah. Okay. So not only do we have all these powers, and not only can you spend mana, known powers on feats instead, but you can also spend powers on damage types. So at first level, you can spend a power, and anytime you make an attack, you can deal acid, cold, fire, lightning, poison damage. And at 5th level or higher, by taking this power, you can always deal force damage, necrotic damage, psychic damage, radiant damage, thunder damage. I personally don't have a problem with being able to deal damage at will. There you go. People can fight me over that if they want, but it costs you a power to learn how to do that. So you're going to gain, this is going to give you at 5th level. No, this should be here. There. Nice. So the bonus powers that you're getting are feeding into the things that your character is capable of doing. I am very happy with that. Initially, you have to do psionic strikes to deal psychic damage or force damage, but as you advance in levels, then you can automatically deal psychic damage if you want to, but you can always opt in for force damage with the psionic strike if you want. Bob's your uncle. Let's keep going. Hopefully you guys think this is fun, because I fucking love rebuilding stuff like this. I think it's a blast. So, let's see. Yep, and we can ignore telekinetic thrust because we gained tripping strike at 5th level for free. So, telekinesis, tripping strike, psychic damage, the lift power, Ride the Wind. You know what? I'm going to replace Ride the Wind. Let's instead make that Cloud Strider. Sustain power. You gain a flight speed. While you sustain the power, you have flight. There you go. What's next? Guarded Mind. Let's see what that does. Guarded Mind, 10th level, PsiWarrior feature. The psionic energy flowing through you has bolstered your mind. You have resistance to psionic damage. Moreover, if you start your turn charmed or frightened, you can expend a psionic die and end the effect on yourself. Nice. If you start your turn charmed, you can expend a psionic energy die. Okay, great. That's easy. We can actually keep that as is, but we have to reword it. So, Guarded Mind. Psionic energy flowing through you has bolstered your mind. You have resistance to psychic damage. Moreover, if you start your turn charmed or frightened, you can expend a power die. You can burn a point. You can burn 1 mana to end every effect on yourself. You can burn it to end every effect on yourself, subjecting you to those conditions. There you go. Easy peasy. Life is squeezy. Bulwark of Force. 15th level PsiWarrior feature. You can shield yourself and others with telekinetic force. As a bonus action, you can choose creatures, which can include you, that you can see within 30 feet of you, up to a number of creatures equal to your intelligence modifier, be minimum 1 creature. Each of the chosen creatures is protected by half cover for 1 minute or until you're incapacitated. Once you take this bonus action, you can't do so again until you finish a long rest, unless you expend a psionic energy die to take it again. Huh. Let's see. You can shield yourself and others with telekinetic force. As a bonus action, you can choose creatures, which can include you, that you can see within 30 feet of you, up to a number of creatures equal to your intelligence modifier. Each of the chosen creatures is protected by a half cover for 1 minute or until you're incapacitated. Each of the chosen creatures is protected by half cover for 1 minute or until you're incapacitated. Once you use this power, I technically don't have any problems with that. Unless you expend a psionic die, unless you spend a point of mana to gain to do so. I like it. I'm gonna keep it. I like the aura effect of it. That's pretty cool. Bulwark of Force. Okay, let's keep it. You can shield yourself and others with telekinetic force. As a bonus action, you can choose creatures, which can include you, that you can see within 30 feet of you, up to a number of creatures equal to your max rank. Fighter at 15th level, that will be 4. Each of the chosen creatures is protected by half cover for I don't like durations while they are within range of this effect. Until they are more than 30 feet away from you, or until you're incapacitated. Basically, it becomes a paladin aura that affects a number of allies equal to your power rank, which is going to be 4 at 13th, and it'll cap at 5 at 17th, and it will stay active with partial cover, with half cover, until they are more than 30 feet away or you are incapacitated. That's a pretty good buff for 15th level for your friends. I mean, it's like a plus, I think it's a plus, is that plus 4 to the armor class? It might be plus 5. Jesus. Hold on. Let's verify I'm not going crazy real quick, shall we? 5e, half cover. Who comes out ahead? 5th SRD. Really? This is the first time I've seen the SRD pop up. Okay. Half cover, plus 2 AC. Okay, just plus 2. Yeah, I'm cool with that. That's the 3/4 as a plus 5. Thank you. But yeah, I'm good with that. I don't think I have 1 minute duration for a +2 armor class. Get the fuck out of here. Thank you. Yeah, while within 30 feet of you, that's on par with paladins. I at 15th level, yeah, I'm content with that. I'm content with that. As a bonus action, you can choose creatures, which can include you, that you can see within 30 feet, up to a number of creatures equal to your max rank of power gained as a fighter. Each of the chosen creatures is protected by half until they are up to 30 feet away from you, or until you can use another bonus action to choose new creatures to be protected this way. There. 18th level, Telekinetic Master. Master. Your ability to move creatures and objects with your mind is matched by few. You can cast a telekinesis spell requiring no components, and your spellcasting ability for the spell is whatever your channeling ability score is. For a fighter, it would either be strength. I think it's strength, constitution, or intelligence. On each of your turns, while you concentrate on the spell, including the turn when you cast it, you can make one attack with a weapon as a bonus action. Once you cast this spell with this feature, you can't do so again until you finish a long or short rest, unless you expend a psionic energy to cast it again. Okay. Let's go look at what telekinesis actually is, and thus what it will do. 5e, telekinesis. Telekinesis. Roll 20 wins again. You gain the... Oh, what spell level is it? It's a 5th level spell. That's so perfect, because at 18th level, your max rank is 5, which means you can spend up to 5 mana. So, keeping that in mind... you gain the ability... down here. Okay, so... you gain the ability to move or manipulate objects or creatures or objects by thought. When you cast the spell and as your action each round for the duration, you can exert your will on one creature or object that you can see within range, causing the appropriate effect below. You can affect the same target round after round, or choose a new one at any time. If you switch targets, the prior target is no longer affected by the spell. Creature. You can try to move a huge or smaller creature. Make an ability check with your spellcasting ability contested by the creature's strength check. If you win, you can move the creature up to 30 feet in any direction, including upward but not beyond the range of the spell. Until the end of your next turn, the creature is restrained in your telekinetic grip. A creature lifted upwards is suspended in midair. On subsequent rounds, you can use your action to attempt to maintain your telekinetic grip on the creature by repeating the contest. Or, let them go and fall 60 feet. So, cheers to that. How about objects? You can try to move an object that weighs up to 1,000 pounds. If the object isn't being worn or carried, you automatically move it up to 30 feet in any direction, but not beyond the range of the spell. If the object is worn or carried by a creature, you must make an ability check with your spellcasting ability contested by that creature's strength check. If you succeed, you pull the object away from that creature and can move it up to 30 feet in any direction, but not beyond the range of the spell. You can exert fine control on objects with your telekinetic grip, such as manipulating a simple tool, opening a door or container, stowing or retrieving an item from an open container, or pouring the content from a vial. Okay, I'm good with this. So let's reword it. Yes, telekinetic master. You can cast a telekinesis spell requiring no components you can duplicate. You can duplicate the telekinesis spell by sustaining 5 mana. Using your channeling ability score period. On each of your turns, while you sustain this effect, including the turn when you cast it, you can duplicate the telekinesis spell as a sustained power tapping 5 mana to do so. On each of your turns, while you sustain this, the channeling feature is subsumed into sustained powers. So you don't have to specifically call out that you'd use your channeling ability modifiers for the spell effect. It's just all things that save against your powers use your channeling spell, your channeling power saving throw, DC, etc. Blah. Including the turn you cast it. On each of your turns, while you sustain this power, including the turn when you channel it, comma, you can make one attack. On each of your turns, while you sustain this effect, including the turn when you channel it, you can make one attack with a weapon as a bonus action. You can duplicate the telekinesis effect as a sustained power. You can while sustaining this power, while sustaining this effect, because it's not actually a power, it's a class feature. So, while sustaining this effect, you can duplicate the telekinesis spell as a sustained power, tapping as a sustained effect. Tapping 5 mana to do so. While sustaining this effect, on each of your, while sustaining this effect, you can as an action each round for the duration is unparalleled. Let's do this. While sustaining this effect, you can use your action or bonus action to target a creature or object, but no more than one at a time. There. So, the way that maneuvers are written, maneuvers are like spell-like effects, and they can be used either as actions or bonus actions. So, while sustaining this effect, you can use your action or bonus action similar to a maneuver power to target a creature or object, but no more than one at a time. So you'd be able to use telekinesis to use a one at a time. Action or bonus action, similar to target a creature or object. Target a creature or object, but no more than one target at a time. The current effect ends. The current effect ends on the current text. Right on, Shiner. Yeah, I'm about done too. I've got a few minutes left myself. But this is the last feature, and we have a couple of different powers to pick from. So if you want to come back and check out again either the stream later on or check out the link down in my Patreon for free to see what these last powers get fleshed out as, you'll see the end result of this. So, and then we'll work on the Purple Dragon / Banneret next week, as Knack had suggested. Thanks, Knack. Yeah, okay, so a sustained power requires mana to tap, and it has no duration. So while you maintain concentration on the effect, it lasts for however long you can maintain it. Every time you make a saving throw, any saving throw, the result of the saving throw roll that you make is measured against the concentration DC. The concentration DC equals 10 plus the amount of mana you have tapped. So this would require a DC 15 on every saving throw you make, unless it's damage. If you take damage, it's a Constitution saving throw equal to 15, or half the damage taken, whichever is greater, just like normal concentration rules work. But you have to make a lot of saving throws on this stuff because intelligence, wisdom, charisma, all the saving throws count. So all I have to do is ding you with a simple simple acid spray spell, and you have to make a saving throw to reduce damage. That counts as a saving throw, and you could lose all 5 of your mana, dump the telekinesis effect, and then have to spend another 5 mana to get it back. Or you could lock the power, and if you lock a sustained power, it reduces the amount of mana you can use by the amount of mana locked. Your max rank is 5. A telekinetic master requires 5 mana. If I were to lock telekinetic master, I would no longer have to maintain concentration on it. It would end when I either become incapacitated, I get hit with a dispel magic, or I begin a long rest. One of those things would end the effect. The mana gets dumped, my channels are now open again. But while I have all 5 mana channeled and locked, I can no longer use mana because I don't have any ranks of mana left. If I were to multi-class this character with, like, say, a 2nd level wizard, then the wizard would only be a 2nd level spellcaster, and it wouldn't have a spell level higher than 5th level. It wouldn't have more than 5 mana that it would have available. You wouldn't be able to cast any spells either because all of your mana is locked in sustaining this power, or not having to sustain this power, which is detailed in the rules above. That's just a quick gist, but there's a bunch of, like little caveat and natural language shit that you add into it, but that's the gist of it. So you could risk losing concentration and be able to do this all day, just picking new targets, maintaining concentration on it, but of course they can attempt to break free with I guess a wisdom or a strength check whenever they do. If you have something sustained up 60 feet, you can leave it hanging there for as long as you maintain concentration, and it doesn't fight staying up there. Of course, if you let it go, it falls. If you switch to another target to use telekinesis on that 60-foot guy automatically falls, and you can switch to a new target. I could take one target, raise him up 60 feet, let go of the telekinetic thing. He falls. I could then use a bonus action to target him, lift him up 60 feet, let it go. He falls. Next round, I can pick up another target. I can just keep doing this over and over. You can already do that over and over and over again. What this would allow you to do is, what this would have allowed you to do is use a bonus action to make a single attack. But instead, we're replacing that with, if you want to make attacks, use Telekinesis Mastery as a bonus action, and then free up your standard action to make a full attack with what? At 18th level, make 3 attacks. There you go. Attack, attack, attack. So you could technically hold something up in the air, restrain it, and then shoot it a bunch with arrows. And then let it go and let it fall. That's super fucking fun. You're at 18th level. I regularly DM 18th level. This is in no way disruptive to what, say, Wish can do. So, I mean, sit down and shut up. This is pretty fair. You can fight me over it if you want, but do so in the comments below. I'm happy with that. So far, I'm happy with this. So let's then go up and see. We have 3 powers to pick out. They could be of any level. Let's go to our list of powers. I'm going to actually kill this here. Let's go to our list of powers and see about cherry picking a couple. That would be fun. Power armor and power shield. Those are. Oh God, power field is a good one. You create a defensive field of power that can be wielded as a shield that you're proficient with. The shield hovers in a space to protect you, leaving your hands free. The bonus to your armor class gained from the shield is equal to your proficiency bonus. You can gain 1. You can benefit from only 1 shield at a time. I should actually change. You know what? Is equal to 1 equal to 1 plus your max rank of power. There you go. That is better language. 1 plus your max rank of power equals proficiency bonus. But it's worded that like a sorcerer wouldn't be able to like dip 1 level of fighter, pick up power shield, and then have 100 mana to spend on using power shield over and over again. A first level fighter has 1 rank of power. A fighter 1, sorcerer 19 has access to 9th level spells, but only first rank powers, because those lines don't cross. So that's a better way of wording that. So let's use this. 1 is equal to 1 plus your max rank of power. Let's swap all prof bonus to this question mark. Comment. I like that. God, I really like that, but that's... But I don't think it needs to be core to the class. Because you get 16 powers you get to choose on your own. These are just the bonus powers you're getting. So we're looking at the most PsiWarrior of all PsiWarrior things on this list to give them, to see if that's the way to be. So let's see if there's anything super cool in here that feels super telekinesis mastery sort of stuff. Daunting presence, unnatural resistance, sturdy, opportunist, mind sense, deadly presence. And this is all TK stuff. So if we can't find enough TK stuff, we can start getting imaginative on what we introduce. So let's see. Banishing Strike's not a bad backup. Delusional Strike, Bursting Strike, Restraining Strike, Provoking Strike, Binding Strike, Accident Strike, Tripping, Thundering, Sweeping, Shocking, Psionic, Poison, Grappling, Goading, Freezing, Flaming. Comments. I like the master rank. Thank you. It's safe proof. Yeah. That's what we're trying to do. Absolutely. Because like if you were to play like a caster martial character, your mana pools are going to blend. It's like if you went sorcerer 19, fighter 1, you'd only have first rank powers that you'd have access to. They'd be pretty much capped at first rank of ability, but you would have 90. You'd have 95 mana. You get that 1 level there, so you'd have 95. You'd have 96 mana. And you can regain 1 on a short rest because the fighter side of the equation refreshes on a short rest. So you'd have 19 mana, you'd have 96 mana, and you can regain 1 on a short rest. Stolen Fate, moving target, Curse of Puppet. As a reaction to a creature drops to 0, you can command the creature to move up to half its speed and make a melee attack against. It's a little dark. I'm not opposed to Curse of the Fallen Puppet. I converted all the Blood Hunter features into powers. So if you aren't into the cut yourself to gain power, you can instead like take all the Blood Hunter stuff and like add it to your Ranger. So you can have a Blood Hunting Ranger using the power system instead, as well as like Fey, like a Fey Wanderer, Blood Hunter Ranger type build, using the different power systems with mana resources. Controlled Fall's not a horrible one. As a reaction to falling, you can land on your feet instead of prone and reduce the damage taken by 10 times your max rank plus 1. What else we got to ask? Okay, do you have any ideas for feats that could give you a first rank martial power, like the Magic Initiate? I don't think we have a feat specifically built like that yet. But if we did, what it would be is pick a first rank power, gain 1 point of mana. You can regain that point of mana when you finish a long rest. And if you have a mana pool already, you can add that additional point to your mana pool. If your character regains mana on a short rest, you can regain it that way. So... But that would allow like a sorcerer to spend a feat, gain an extra point of mana, and to then add like Power Shield, for instance, to their selection of spells. But it would still cap at their first rank. They would have a maximum rank of first rank powers, so it would only be a +2 armor class bonus. But the sorcerer wouldn't have to hold the shield, and they're proficient with it. So that could open up some fun options. Yes, we should absolutely make sure we add that. So let's do that now that we're talking about it. Thank you. I've had that on my mind, but I don't think I've actually ever added it. Let's call it Power Initiate. You can take this feat more than once, choosing an additional power and gaining 1 more point of mana. When you do, you cannot. Your max rank of power cannot exceed first rank this way. There. So you could. Let's not do that. If we did that, then you could choose to just take a shitload of powers, a shitload of feats instead. Oh, but they'd all be limited to first rank. Okay, that's a great question. So what I was thinking here was, if I took instead of learning 16 powers, I instead learned 16 feats. And if I chose those 16 feats to be Power Initiate, I would then be able to gain 16 extra points of mana. And I'd be able to pick them up as a short rest. So my fighter would be able to have 36 points of mana on a short rest instead of 20 But if I did that, I would only be able to have first rank powers. But I'd still be 5th rank, so I could dump in 5 mana on top of them. I just would never be able to do that with... yeah, I can't do that. So you gain a first rank power of your choice, period. You can use this power once per short rest, or you can spend mana to channel it if you have the channeling class feature. You can take this feat more than once, choosing an additional power. When you do, there, that really dummy proofs it. So you gain it, you can use, so you can take 16, if you had a sorcerer that stacked up on a bunch of sustained powers, you'd be able to use, you gain a first rank power of your choice. You can use this power once per short rest, or you can spend mana. You can use this power once per short rest at first rank. As a first rank power, as though channeling 1 point of mana when you do, or you can spend mana to channel it as normal if you have the channeling class feature. If you choose a sustained power, you cannot lock. You cannot lock it. There you go. There you go. That really dummy proofs it. So you get a free point. You get a free point of mana that you spent. You effectively channel it as a first rank power. So if it's a sustained concentration effect, you can't lock it. It doesn't count towards, if you choose a sustained power, you cannot lock it, and it counts towards the total number of mana tapped for determining the concentration DC. There. I think that fully dummy proofs it. Yeah. That's a good one. I like that. I think that's why I was fighting doing it, because wordy. But completely worth. I gotta get done, but I wanna finish this up real quick. So let's see. I'm looking for a few good men. No, I'm looking for just a few basic powers. Just 3 powers. Give me 3 powers. Let's spend some time in reactions. We haven't really spent a lot of time in reactions. Do we even have any reactions yet? We have strikes, feats, damage types, maneuvers, sustained. We don't have any exploits, and we don't have any reactions. So that's what we need. We need a reaction. Reaction, defensive barrier. As a reaction to a source you can see targeting you with an attack, you create a momentary translucent barrier, granting you full cover against the attack, causing the attack to automatically miss unless it ignores cover. The barrier disappears after the attack. That is such a great fucking power. Defensive barrier, 3rd rank, perfect. Defense barrier. That fucking choice. What else you got? Target, curse the puppet's not bad. Lightning strike, opt, push, punish. Fortitude, feint. deflection, interpose, curse of exposure, deflection. As a reaction to when you are an ally within reach of... Nah, that's within reach. Interpose. As a reaction to when an ally, an adjacent ally takes damage from a source you get... No, we already have that as a ranged thing. These are maneuvers. Ooh, telekinetic... Fuck yeah, telekinetic bubble. Third maneuver. Telekinetic bubble. Choose a creature up to the large size within 30 feet. It becomes trapped within a resilient sphere, as per the spell. The creature can dex save to end the effect. At the end of each of its turns, you can spend 5 mana to target a huge-sized creature. There we go. Yeah, TK Bubble, baby. That's a great one. What else we got? What else you got? What else you got? I need one more feature. Lift, shunt. I have those already. Phase. Healing Radiance, Restraining Hold, Goad, Flatten. Ooh. Choose a creature within 30 feet. It takes 1 power die per mana, force damage, and if it fails its strength check, it's knocked prone. It can end the prone condition after a successful strength save. So you keep them prone. Oh, man, I forgot about that. I fucking love that. That's great. Where do we put it? All right, let's push defensive barrier. I mean, you can take these powers as early as 9th level because they're only 3rd rank, but you get them for free at 17th. So if you've known them until now, you can then refund them and get things to replace them because you can switch out your entire kit every time you gain a level. Martial characters can change out 1 power they know every time they take a short rest or a long rest. And hybrids like the paladin and the ranger, they can switch out a power they know every time they gain a level. They can change out all their powers and earn a level, and they can change 1 power when they take a long rest. So the martial characters on short rest mana, they can switch a power every time they take a short rest. The long rest mechanics of the paladin and the ranger, long rest regain their mana, long rest you can switch a power, just like they can switch spells when they gain levels. So, oh yeah, I was right, flatten. So, lift. What level is it? Flatten is 1st rank. So that means we're going to move lift to here. And we're going to go with flatten. Fuck, that's so great. God, this guy is stacked. This guy is stacked. TK Bubble is pretty cool. The telekinetic power that you gain at 18th level is just freaking awesome. But I'm really happy with this stuff. Sonic Strike. Let's change this. Let's move Sonic Strike to 5th level. No. We were on point there. Because you can't get psychic damage until 5th level anyway, because it's an advanced energy type. This is good. This is legit fucking good. Oh my god, I fucking love this. Oh my god. This is good. And there's, okay, keeping in mind, you get all those for free. You still get 16 other powers that you get to pick from yourself. And of those, and of course you have all of your feats as well. But one of the feats, one of the meta feats that we have is Efficient Power. Efficient Power is, it requires 5th level and a channeling class feature, so repeatable. Choose a power you have learned of 2nd rank or higher. Reduce the rank and amount of mana to channel the power by 1. This doesn't modify any kicker costs. Like Bubble, a huge-sized creature is a kicker at the 5th level. So I need to rework the language there. Any kicker costs? Let's put in a thing here. Let's scan the doc for kickers and recode wording. Lock. you later swap this power for another, you must also swap efficient power for another power. You can take this feat more than once, reducing the cost of a different second rank or higher martial power with each efficient power you choose, limit 1 per power. So, of the stack that we have here, you could take Telekinetic Bubble, make it efficient, and drop the cost to 2. You could take Defensive Barrier, drop that to 2. You could take Shunt, Cloud Strider, Lift. You could drop all those to first rank, only costing 1 mana each. Super freaking useful. God, PsiWarrior's good. I am finding at the end of each of these conversions that like I'm legitimately like excited about the idea of what these things could do. Like this is cool shit. Like this stacks out like all of your combat, and it gives you like the bubble, the Cloud Strider, the lift effect. These are all good things to help push people around for like utility stuff or exploration things. But then on top of that, you have your entire stack of 16 powers that you could dump into reactions, maneuvers, and exploits to manipulate your dice. Like commanding presence, intimidation, performance, and persuasion checks. Add the best die result of the mana that you spend, the roll power dice. Like there's a lot of utility and social stuff that you can use inside of this system, like to manipulate those other pillars outside of just combat stuff. So, oh god, this is such a cool book. And this is just the basic stuff. Like if we do like a book of Dimir, that's gonna be a bunch of like memory fuckery, mind control stuff, charming abilities, control things, scrying, spying, like the book of Dimir. Like we could have like 30 different powers just for Dimir stuff alone. It'd be sick. Anyway, so I am over time. I gotta go. That's martial powers, man. This stuff is, hopefully you guys think this stuff is as cool as I do, because I'm really looking forward to doing the playtesting when the Spelljammer book is done, dropping this into, dropping this off to an editor, get it cleaned up, and start doing artwork for this stuff. Artwork for this is going to be so fun. Man, I'm really looking forward to it. All right, that's it for today. If you thought this stuff was cool, you want to see more of this, you want to see some of my artwork, I stream 6 days a week doing all sorts of different stuff. Like, subscribe. I'm trying to get to 500 subscribers by the end of the year. So thanks a lot for being around, folks, and hoping to see more people in the future. So we'll see you guys on the other side. Thanks a lot. Back in the morning.